Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today, I'm going to talk about 8 reasons to plant fava beans. The first reason for planting fava bean is that it is a great plant for garden that is start from scratch. Here we have very heavy clay, and not many things grow in heavy clay without a lot of soil conditioning. But fava bean is the one that didn't mind. This is our second year starting on this garden, starting from just native clay soil. Last year, pretty much nothing grows except fava beans. And this year, the fava bean is just all over the place. You can see this beautiful fava bean patch over here. If you are starting a garden from scratch, you definitely need to plant fava beans. The second reason for planting fava bean is that it's not only can grow in heavy soil, it's also a great soil conditioner and a nitrogen fixer. You can see over here, I can see some tomatoes that are growing among the fava beans. These are self-seeded. Compared to other patch where I don't have fava beans, the tomato over here are much greener. The leaves are just very vibrant green. And that is because that as a legume family, the fava beans, it can fix nitrogen in the nodule and then benefit the plants growing around it. Reason number 3 is that fava bean is cold hardy. It's a cool season vegetable, so you can typically I will plant them in the later fall after the first frost, and they can grow through the winter. Especially this year, we have this historic ice storm, and I was afraid that this fava bean will be wiped out. And they did look bad, like they get all dried up during the storm. But then 1 week after that, they all sprouted back. You don't see any storm damage at all. So it's a very cold, hardy plant that, in our case, survived close to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the minus 10 degrees C. And they bounce back right away. It's a very hardy plant for winter. Reason 4 for planting the fava bean is that it provides food in March, April timeframe. That typically is the hunger months where there are not a lot of vegetables are growing. You can harvest the top of the fava bean leaves as a green, and also the pea parts. When they're young, you can eat just like green beans. You can let it mature a little bit and harvest the pea and have the fresh pea for cooking. Around this time, there are not many other vegetables growing, especially vegetables that can provide proteins. If you are vegetarian, definitely that is something that very advantageous to have fava beans around this time to give you fresh proteins from plant-based vegetables. Reason number 5 is that fava bean can grow about 2 feet or so, and so they provide a great windbreaker for the other plants. I plant them around a patch, and then I plant other vegetable interior of that patch. Especially over here in winter or early spring, we get very strong storm and very strong wind. Last year, all the fava bean was kind of leaning toward one direction. They take up the wind pretty well and also provide windbreak for other plants. So now I'm planting some seedlings in between the fava beans so that they can get some protection from the strong wind from the fava beans. Reason number 6 is that the bloom of the fava bean smells wonderful. I wish you can be here to smell it because around this time, we don't even need to get very close to the fava bean to smell it. As soon as you get into the garden, you can smell this wonderful fragrance that is better than any perfume that I have ever smelled. There are some wildflowers, but the bees don't have a lot of food. We see that the bees and the bumblebees, they are here to smell the flowers and collect the food for them. Number 7 is that you can buy bulk seeds for fava bean planting very easily. We just typically go to the local halal store and they have 4-pound bag for like $2 or $3. And then we plant them and get these wonderful plants over here through winter. The final reason number 8 is that these fava beans produce a lot of biomass. After we harvest the beans, I can just chop it down and drop them and use them as fertilizer for green cover and also a natural mulch. In this video, I talk about the 8 reasons to plant a fava bean, especially if you start a garden from the scratch and using the native clay soil. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms. Okay.